my name is Emily and welcome back to another video on Emily XO. Today's video is going to be a first impression / review of sorts. We are going to be talking about some different sponges from Real Techniques. So this is a little kit that they were selling. I want to say it came out around like Black Friday, Christmas time. But it is a set of 12, technically only 11 different, but there's 12 sponges in here. All different types except for, you can see this one's already missing, but these two are the same. They're just the standard Miracle Complexion sponge. Just a standard one that looks like this that a lot of people already use. I already tried this one because I was really eager to try it and I actually do really like it. But I thought since there's so many different types of sponges in here, it might be fun to try a bunch of them out for you guys, see how they work, because I believe they sell pretty much all of these on their own except for this one, which says on here is new and a season exclusive. So I don't know if you might be able to find this one, but we're going to go through pretty much all of them. The only one I'm not going to really touch on is probably this one, and is there another one? I think just this one. This one is actually a Miracle Cleansing Sponge for cleansing and exfoliating. I did already try this one already. It's kind of weird. It definitely works. I don't know if it was super duper effective. I don't know. I think I'd rather just use like my facial brush that I have. But anyway, we're gonna go through these. We're gonna try some of them out and see how they work. Also, another quick note, I actually have used these. I bought these a while ago, but I do not use them for their intended purpose. I use these as little mini concealer sponges, but they're actually Miracle Mini Eraser Sponges. So we are going to try them with their actual intended purpose and just see how it works. So we will go ahead and get started. So my face is already washed and moisturized, however I have not primed it because we are also doing a little review / first impressions on this primer here. It's the Revlon Photo Ready Pore Reducing Primer. A YouTuber that I watch, the Taylor, uses this and she really recommends it, so I was almost out of primer and decided I wanted to pick it up because I have been looking for one that is more pore minimizing, pore reducing, so we're going to see how this one works. I'm going to start by just putting it on half my face, just to see if we can really get a clear indication that it's minimized my pores. So we're gonna get all up close and personal here in a moment. Please ignore my acne. I've been breaking out like crazy lately. I think a lot of it's due to stress. Work's been kind of stressful lately. Alright, let's take a look here. I think there's a difference. I think it looks overall a little smoother over here. Actually, yeah, you can't really see it on camera as much, but looking in the mirror, I can definitely tell that my texture is a lot smoother, and it definitely did help fill in my pores and those lines. So that's exciting. All right, primer is setting. We are pushing the hair back so I can focus on my face. I did buy a new foundation as well, but I think I'm going to stick with my standard NYX Stay Matte Not Flat just because I know how this should apply, so I'm curious to see how it does kind of apply with other blenders. So since there are a few different options that I can use for foundation, we're actually going to split it into 1, 2, and 3 and try out 3 different sponges. We're going to go in with this one here, and then these little guys here. So we're going to try those for foundation. I'm going to actually be using this one for blush, this one, the pink half, for highlight. I'm going to try doing kind of like a bronzer contour with half of my face with this one here, and then the other half I want to try this one here, and then also concealer. I'm going to go in, I want to try and use the point on this one, but I also want to try these ones here. They are a little bit differently shaped than the ones up here. And then since this one says it's for erase flaking mascara, eyeshadow fallout, or other makeup mishaps, we're going to try this at the end. I'm going to do some eyeshadow, and I'm actually going to try and get a little bit of fallout from it to see how that kind of cleans up. Alright, so first for foundation over here, we're going to go in with this one. This is their Miracle 360 sponge. This is the one that is new and a season exclusive. It's literally just a ball. But it feels like pretty much the same material and like squish as their standard sponge. It's just round. So with this one, they say you can use it damp or dry. You can use it with creams, liquids, or powders. Damp for dewy glow or dry for full coverage, and you can pinch to shape for custom application. Alright, so since I am going with foundation, I did dampen this. It's definitely got nice squish. It did grow a little bit in size. It definitely did expand. So I think what's most interesting to me is the pinching for custom application. So let's go ahead and we're going to try this out. Now I guess really the rounded side isn't bad because there's a lot of beauty blenders out there, like the original that is just an egg shape. Definitely, I mean it feels very soft, like it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, it's definitely very soft. It is blending it. I think the hard part, like I know you can pinch it, but getting under the eyes, I'm kind of around the nose. Oh, I mean, I guess actually wasn't too bad overall.
Please disregard how not matching this shade of foundation is for me. It's definitely something that I've become more aware of since filming this video. I did not realize how off this shade was, as in the mirror it looks a lot different. So I've definitely dropped down foundation shades.
Alright, overall I actually kind of like this one. I was a little curious about how it would actually like get like up in here and around the nose. But actually it seems to have gotten in there pretty well. It does, like, it kind of almost naturally pinches itself once you get in there, and it just kind of goes where it needs to. So yeah, overall, this one's kind of fun. So next on this after my face, we're going in with this one here. This is the Miracle Diamond Sponge. It has 13 facets for multitasking. It says you can use it damp or dry with creams, liquids, or powders. And again, damp for dewy coverage and dry for full coverage. Again, because we're going in with foundation, I am going to dampen this. So I'm going to use, I think, we're going to try the top here for foundation, and then I'm going to go in with this little point for concealer and see if that, see how that kind of goes. Alright, so I did dampen this one. It does feel as soft as the others as far as like squishiness, and again, it did grow in size. Now, I'm wondering also if this, like the edges might be really good for like a contour, to get like really striking lines there. But I think for now, we're just going to try it out with foundation. We're just going to go right in on top here. So I feel like I might be getting slightly fuller coverage over here. I don't know if I used more product or if it soaks it up differently. But one thing I definitely am noticing with this one being as large and as flat as it is, and this portion that I'm using, it's definitely not getting into the creases as much as the round circular one did, the 360. But of course, like with this one, you do have the different edges that you can kind of touch up with, but I'm just kind of trying to stick with the flat part here to see how that actually does work. Yeah, I think that the crease in the nose here definitely didn't get as, it didn't kind of mold in as well as the 360 sponge did. But I mean, I think with this one, there's so many different uses that you can use it. Like, I don't think it's a bad sponge. I just think that maybe using the flat top for your foundation isn't its best purpose. And that's okay, because you've got tons of other sponges that you can use by them. So now for the forehead, we are going in with this little guy here. So with these little guys, it actually comes with two of them, and they're double-sided. It's got this orange side, which feels pretty similar to like the standard sponge material. And then there's this side, which is more of like, it's like a harder texture. But these are the Miracle Blotting Cushions. You use it to smooth and blot makeup. It says you do use these dry. You can use with liquid or cushion foundations. Use dry to smooth makeup throughout the day, or use to apply foundation with a tapping motion. So I do want to try these out on the forehead and see how they work. So specifically a tapping motion. Okay, we need more product. That was too much product. So I feel like because it's flat, it's harder to really like manipulate it. But I mean, like, it is blending the foundation on there. I have way too much foundation on my hand now. It just is. It's harder to like manipulate as much and kind of get it where you need it to go. And I feel like because there's less to grip onto, the actual like tapping motion is a little bit more difficult. But overall, I mean, like, the foundation is blended. It's just kind of awkward. I'm not as big of a fan of this as for applying foundation. I think out of the 3 sponges I tried, the circular one was my favorite. But I would be curious to see how these work for like smoothing and blotting throughout the day. Alright, there we go. So next we are going to go in with concealer. I am using my trusty ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade 15. So for this half, we're going to go in with the diamond one again, and just use the pointed tip here and see how that kind of blends it all in. So definitely did blend it. Also it soaked a lot of it in. I think kind of what I like better about, part of the reason I bought the little sponges is they're just smaller and easier to control in a smaller area. But otherwise the point does like get up in there really nicely in the corner of your eye. And it does help you kind of get in the crease of your nose as well. So overall, not bad. So on the side, we're going to go in with this little guy here. This is the Miracle Complexion Sponges. It says for touch-ups are on the go, but it does say that you can use it with creams, liquids, or powders. Use damp for dewy glow or dry for full coverage. I do want to kind of show you the difference because there are the other little sponges that I have been using for concealer, and that's these ones. Now these ones are flat here and then flat here and rounded at the bottom. These ones are pretty much the same slope, but it doesn't have the flat up here. It's just completely sloped off. So we're going to try that. I am also kind of curious to try it dry. All of the other sponges I've tried damp. So we're going to go in with this one over on my concealer here with just the dry sponge. Wow, actually, I was a little worried that like it wouldn't blend as well because it doesn't have that moisture, that water, but like it blended out the lines really well, and I feel like I have better coverage concealer over here because I feel like with it not being dampened, it didn't soak up as much. It more just blended it right onto my skin, and I'm really surprised you don't see any like harsh lines or anything. So overall, I'm actually kind of a fan of using it just dry rather than dampened. I think it blended a lot nicer than I expected it to. So I do like this. Now, as far as how different these shapes are, I mean, I really think you could go either way, and you can even use like the pointed tip here if you'd rather more of a point to get up under there. and then like the flat to kind of blend out on the eyelid. But overall, I think for concealer, even though it's not their intended purpose, you could go in with either of these. This is what I have been using. I do like them. I do like their shape. So next on this half of my face for kind of a bronzer contour deal, we're going to go in with this one. So this is their micro sculpting sponge. Create shadows or highlight your favorite features. You can use with creams, liquids, or powders. Use damp for dewy glow or dry for full coverage. So I think what intrigues me about using this one for kind of like a contour bronzer, which I know they are different, is this little flat part here. I feel like you could really like blend that in well. So we're going to try that out. All right. We're going to go in with this really deep shade. This is a little deep for my skin tone, but I really want to just kind of like give you guys that illusion here. Ooh, that's going to be way too much on there. This is a bronzer, not a contour, but I am just going to kind of blend it in as if it is more of a contour, just to see how sharp of a line you can get with it, and then we'll kind of blend it out more with this larger side here. Ooh, yeah, I mean, you can get really nice lines there. And then, how well does it blend it out? I am using this one just dry. I didn't dampen it at all. I think I have too much product on there, which caused a really sharp line. Try and blend it all out. Ooh, that's not looking so good. And this is through no fault of the sponge. I just picked up way too much product on it, so I'm just going to blend this out heavily real quick. I also went a little low on the application here. Take this and blend it out a little bit too. Get some of that leftover foundation on there to kind of cover it up. But yeah, I definitely applied that too low as well. Kind of like looking at it again, I realized. All right, so instead of swiping a line, I'm going to try just that's the bigger side. Just see how that kind of, all right, see that, it's still looking kind of harsh on camera, so I think I still would blend it out. I think overall, I mean, like, you can use the sponge, but I think I prefer a brush. I think it blends out better. Now, like I said, this doesn't specifically say it's for contour or anything like that. That was just kind of the vibe I got with the different like sharp edges here. But I'm not a huge fan with how that's blending out. We're going to try, I do have a different sponge that I want to try on this half of the face. We're going to see how that one kind of compares. So on the left half of my face here, we're going to go in with this one. This is their Miracle Contour Wedge. So this really is for an easy contour. Like I said, I'm using bronzer, not a contour, but we're just going to kind of see what kind of sharp lines you can get with it. So with this one, again, creams, powders, liquids, use damp for soft finish or dry for full coverage application. All right, so I think I'm going to take kind of the more pointed side here. I did just kind of tap the sponge into the same bronzer shade that I used on this side, and we're just going to kind of try it over here. So I'm liking how this looks a lot better. I think I used a lot less product, which helps. But I also think this sponge is a little bit easier to blend it out. So I like that a lot better. I'm also really not good at contouring. So take that as you will. There's probably people who can make both of these sponges work a lot better than I can. But yeah, I think overall that blended out a lot easier. It looks a lot neater overall. I have a slightly harsh line there, but we'll just blend that out with a brush. This side's kind of a mess. This side's not too bad. Alright, so now for blush on both sides, I'm going in with this one here. This is a Miracle Finish sponge, very soft, rosy glow. Use with cream, pressed powder, or liquid blush. Use damp with a stippling, bouncing motion for a rosy glow, or dry to sweep on blush for more coverage. We are going to try it dry, sweeping on brush. Now this one has the same shape as like the standard one, but it's more of, if you guys can see that, it's holier. It's got more holes to it. It doesn't, and it's not as quite as soft. It's got more of like a rougher texture to it. So I'm kind of interested to see how that works when it comes to blending on the blush. I think I'm going to start with this side and kind of blend it out with the flatter side. I'm going to go in with this blush shade here, which is darker than I usually use, but again, I'm just trying to make sure it shows on camera so you guys can really see it. Alright, so we're just going to kind of, oh, again, probably too much product. Yeah, see, it looks a lot more natural there. Alright, let's kind of, that says sweep, so we're gonna kind of, I'm using like bouncing stipple motion, I guess, but also the sweep bounce stipple. Wow, that is really pink. And again, this isn't a color I would normally wear, so that's part of like the very dramatic pinkness to it. Okay, that blended out not too bad. We're gonna try blend out this side. That looks a little more natural, I think. Yeah, that side got a little too heavy, but this side, it's not too bad. Now, I'm not a huge fan of using sponges for anything other than liquids. I don't like sponges with powders. So I think it works, but I'd rather stick to a brush in my opinion. But I would be curious if I had any liquid blushes or even more of a cream blush, I would definitely try it out. I just don't have any of those. So now for highlighter on both sides, we're going in with this pink part here. This one is kind of shaped very similar to the standard one. However, the two halves do have different purposes, and it is almost like a more rubbery feel than the standard sponge. But this one here is a dual end expert sponge for medium to heavy coverage. Use with liquids or powders. Use orange side to apply foundation and pink side to apply contour, highlight, or blush. We're gonna go in with highlight on this one. Sticking with the same palette, we're gonna go in with this highlight, which is a very deep color. This whole palette is not great for my skin tone. Ooh, okay, again, I think we're just picking up too much product. I'm gonna try lightly tapping, and I think that's the same. We're gonna go in with the lightly tapping. That really didn't do anything. Maybe with this one you do need more product. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, actually, I think with this though, you actually do need to pick up a little more product. Okay. I mean, it works. This has definitely gone better than the contour and the blush has. Okay, that might have gotten a little too heavy. Buff it out. Alright, so I think this with the highlight went better than the contour slash bronzer and the blush. Again, sponges and powders just don't work for me. If I had liquid, if I had like more of like a cream contour, cream blush, liquid highlighter, anything, or even like one of those stick highlighters, like one of the strobing sticks, I think any of those, like I would lean more towards a sponge. That makes sense. However, with what I have and what I use with all the powders, I'd rather stick to brushes. I think it's easier to blend, they apply easier, and you don't get the way too heavy-handedness that I've been getting with a lot of the products here. So the last sponge we're going in is this one. So this is the Miracle Mini Eraser Sponge. Erase makeup mishaps. Erase flaking mascara, eyeshadow fallout, or other makeup mishaps. Use damp to blend harsh lines, or dry to pick up unwanted makeup. So I'm gonna do my eyeshadow. I'm not going for like a real look. I'm really just going to pick one of the eyeshadows that I know has a lot of fallout and put it all over my lid so I can see how well this actually picks up fallout. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. I know this doesn't look good. This is not a color I would put all over my lid normally. It's just one that I know has a lot of fallout. As you guys can kind of see over here and over here, and I just wanted something with super fallout so that way I could test the sponge. So it says use dry to pick up unwanted makeup. So we're just gonna kind of, I guess, I don't know if you sweep it. Yeah, we're gonna try blotting it over here. It also says you can use it to fix mistakes, so I'm going to try seeing if we can kind of get some of this. A lot of the fallout around my nose. I think it picked up the fallout, but there's still a lot of pink tinge that didn't go away. I'm going to try blending out on the top of my eye though and see if it'll help soften it. Yeah, actually, it did. It helped soften it. So now it's not quite so dramatic. Yeah, that actually helped soak up quite a bit. Not bad, actually. Obviously, it's still a very bright color all over my lid that I did not blend super well. But it helped pick up the fallout. But like I said, there's still a lot of pink tinge, so I think you almost have to take one of these and add a little concealer and maybe like blend it out that way. I don't think on its own it can really fix all of that. Alright, so we are done trying all of these Real Techniques sponges. I think overall they were kind of I don't want to say miss because they are great sponges. I just don't think I necessarily had the right tools for application, even though they say you can use them with powders. I don't like them with powders. So overall, I wasn't too enthused about them, but I would be curious to see how they work with other like creams or liquids. So I will get some of those in the future and I'll kind of give you an update on how I like them. I think this round one, is a real winner. I really like this one. It's definitely right up there with their standard Miracle Complexion sponge. I like that one. I also do like this little guy a lot. This one and the purple one are both really nice, especially like I said, for getting underneath the eyes and a lot of like corners and around the nose crease. I think both of those work really well for that. These ones, I would like to give another chance, but to blot away makeup. As I get oily or shiny throughout the day, I would be really curious to try these again and see how they work in that sense. Also, this one for highlighter definitely wasn't bad. I liked that too. But overall, it was kind of rocky as far as using them. Like I said, I will try out some more like liquidy cream items and see if I like those better for the applications. So I think that is about it. Let me know down in the comments which sponge you liked best or you would be most excited to try. Or if you've tried any or most of these, which ones do you like? What do you use them for? Let's just talk about sponges down below. Otherwise, if you like this video, make sure to please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not already. And if you are interested, you can tap that little bell icon. That does notify you every time I post a video. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.